My name is Dwan Kelsey, and I'm a nurse practitioner with the Well Life, a diabetes clinic and educational resource center located in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we will be discussing how to use a blood glucose monitor. Well, first of all, a glucose monitor is used to check one's blood sugar. And there are different ways of monitoring the blood sugar by use of the glucose monitor, and we have several out there. We have the Johnson & Johnson, Aviva's, the Bayer makes one, Freestyle is one, Prodigy is another one. So there's different types of brands, manufacturers of brands of glucose monitors. So there are a few that still have to be calibrated, where the patient has to actually calibrate the machine. But you simply just prick your finger, it uses a small amount of blood, and the meter will actually read whatever your blood sugar is at that particular moment. One thing that we have to remember when we're monitoring blood sugar and checking with a glucose machine is that the blood sugar may be differently with different machines. We may get 100 on one machine, the next machine may read 110. So when you're switching from one glucose monitor to another one, that's when you kind of have to be aware that there may be a difference between the readings. When we teach a patient how to check their blood sugars with a glucose monitor, we typically would like for them to check their blood sugars 3 to 4 times a day. That is an ideal way or ideal amount of time to check a blood sugar, because we want a preprandial, which is before breakfast or fasting, and then we oftentimes want a postprandial, which means after a meal, about 2 hours after a meal. However, there have been federal regulations that have come down from Medicare and Medicaid that says if a patient is on Medicare and they're not receiving insulin, then they need to only check their blood sugar 1 time a day. Now, the provider can override that, but now there is a process, there's a guideline now as to how many times a patient can check a blood sugar. But typically, we would like to see at least 3 to 4 readings. A patient that's on an insulin pump really needs to check their blood sugar about 6 to 8 times a day. That was basic information. Make sure to consult with your healthcare provider.